Okay, I don't know why I'm so nervous to film this. Hi guys, it's Carrie. If you read the title of this video, you know the big announcement is I quit my full-time job here in Korea. And I asked you guys for a lot of questions and I'm very thankful for them all. However, a lot of them I had answered in my previous Working in Korea Q&A. So if I don't answer your questions here, it's because I'm trying to answer some new ones and go into more detail that I didn't feel comfortable talking about while I was still working there. I even give you a tour of my old office. Yeah, go check that out. I'll link it wherever it goes. Number one, I did answer this before, but just in case, what was my job? I was technically a marketing manager or a community manager for a social media startup here in Seoul. And I started working there in 2014 and I officially left in the end of 19. So it was about five and a half years. It was exactly 5.5 years since the day that I started. So I was there for quite a long time. And so a lot of my work was like content creation, social media management, a very loose translation, localization, stuff like that. So I wore a lot of hats basically, as anyone in marketing does. And all of my work was in English because I was on the English marketing team, and but most of our communication was in Korean. So that kind of gives you the background. Now to the more juicy questions. First and foremost, why did I quit? Well, like I had mentioned before when I did my whole I'm married announcement, Kurt and I were planning to move to America. So I really was mentally prepared to leave this job anyway. And then we ended up not moving. We ended up staying here. So I went down to part-time, and then I eventually went down to remote, and then I eventually went down to quitting altogether. And there wasn't any bad blood or anything. It was just been doing kind of the same job, minute changes, but kind of the same job, the same people, the same office for 5.5 years. And I wanted to see if I could do other things. And so that's why I left. It's not any like hot goss. It's just I was ready to move on. Kind of related to that, am I moving? No. Short answer, no, I'm not moving. I just left because it was my time. Okay, kind of grouping these all together. Am I a full-time YouTuber now? What am I gonna do next? Am I lonely without work? I've mentioned this once before, but I absolutely do not ever want to be a full-time YouTuber. I would go absolutely insane. I've been doing YouTube for 3 years with a full-time job, and so I've gotten really, really good at managing my time. Having all this extra time is wonderful. It's like, I know it's a luxury that I don't have to go into an office every single day. That honestly has lifted such a weight off my shoulder, and I'm so thankful for it. But I'm the kind of person that I like to have a lot of work. I like to be constantly busy. Because I got really good at doing YouTube with very little time, having all this extra time, I don't need it. It's really helpful for me because I want to focus a lot on traveling more and bringing you guys to more interesting places. But there's a lot of me sitting at home. This is the first couple of weeks that I've really been just home. When I went to America, that was kind of when I quit. And so going to America, it felt like just a vacation. So once I came back here at the end of December, it's like hitting me that I'm not working a full-time job anymore. And I'm getting real bored. I'm currently doing a few, but I'm picking up some more freelance opportunities. I've kind of always been a freelance content writer on the side, like minimal, real minimal. I'm hopefully gonna pick up some more of those jobs. I do like being in an office. I think anybody who works remote understands. I would like to do something where I'm more like face-to-face with people again, because it's a little lonesome. Another really popular question, could I have your old job? No, so I was really protective of what I had built, and I didn't want to leave it empty-handed, like just walk out and have my position be empty. So before I left, I actually like interviewed people and trained and passed on my job to someone else. So I yeah, fully trained my replacement. Sorry, my position is taken. Okay, this one, salary compared to the US and compared to men. So in the marketing area, and really in almost any other area, your salary is going to be less than the United States. But you also kind of need to consider cost of life. What am I trying to say? Is much less here as well. So rent is going to be lower, sort of your healthcare, your transportation, the price of a lot of different foods, stuff like that. In America, you're gonna have to buy like insurance for every single thing that you own. You're gonna have to pay a lot for your health insurance, even if you don't use it. And then if you use it, you have to pay more, stuff like that. So it doesn't 100% even out, but it's certainly not as big of a gap as it will sound like once I tell you the normal salaries. And so the normal salary, if you are joining a marketing team especially for a startup, entry level 25 to 30 to 2.5 and up into the low 30s would be a very good offer. The only problem is that I only know American standards, but in America, we like to give yearly raises, maybe a bonus, maybe a promotion. In Korea, it's not as common. So I actually really had to fight. I was in conversation with my manager and my CEO for probably like 4 months to get a raise for my team, and it ended up being quite a small raise. But at that point I had been fighting for 4 months. I was tired. I was just like, screw it. So in the course of my 5 years, well, let's say 4 years, because the last year I was kind of working part-time. In the course of my 4 years there, I only got 2 raises, and they were small. For the amount of work that we were doing, the raises weren't enough. So yeah, that is something to think about. Your salary probably won't scale unless you really push. I'm not financially driven, and so I felt very greedy asking for it, but you deserve it. You are making your company a lot of money if you're doing your job very well. I could very comfortably live and save here just because my rent was $400. We had free breakfast for the first 2 years. If you stayed after 7, they would pay for your dinner, stuff like that. So there were a lot of other financial incentives, but yeah, salary is lower than America for sure. Finally, about salary compared to men. I don't know about corporate world, anything other than like my startup world, but rather than it being salary based on gender, it's often salary based on like your team, and the teams tend to be more gender segregated, I guess. My engineering team, front end, back end, everybody is 100% male. We had one female engineer at one time, but now it's 100% male. For example, marketing team members get paid less than engineers. Developers just naturally have higher salaries. I'm pretty sure that's kind of the same in America. So yes, a lot of men in my company were making more than me, but it wasn't because I was a woman, it was because they were developers. We did have men on the marketing team, and they were very much in the same realm as we were, which leads me to gender issues. Did they exist? Lots of questions about like sexism and stuff. Please see my old video, but my CEO was a woman. I think a lot of people just assume that all CEOs are male. It is not true. My CEO was a woman, and we had lots of women in power positions. We also had like a cabinet stacked, like we had this female group chat, and we just stocked this cabinet. We had like an unlimited budget for pain medications, pads, anything we needed for that time of the month. I think we had like hot packs, stuff like that. It's actually legal in all of Korea, but I hear that some companies kind of try to discourage it. But my company, we totally used it. Women get 1 day per month to use if they are having a really hard time during that time of the month. See my old video, I think I go into more detail, but Okay, this one is gonna kind of be a weird jumble. So lots of questions about benefits, pension, days off, taxes. So benefits, I kind of mentioned it already, as far as like little perks being like free breakfast, free snacks. There is also national health care that you get with your company. I think they like overcharged me or something for a checkup that I went to. And so for like months, they would send me mail asking, please give us your bank information so we could send you 30 cents because we overcharged you 30 cents. Like, the healthcare industry in America would never. So days off, it's legal that you must have 12 days of vacation, plus you get all of the national holidays. And with my company, every year that you worked there, you would accrue another half of a day or a day. What my company did, and I think a lot of startups do, you're able to work on holidays and save those for later. So for example, in the beginning, Kayla and I, we would work during Chuseok. So let's say you get 4 days off. It changes every year because it's the lunar calendar. Kayla and I would go into the office for 4 days and we would work those days even when everybody else is gone. Everything would be closed during Chuseok. If we wanted to take those 4 days and fly to Japan or something, tickets were so expensive. If we wanted to go to Busan, you couldn't get train tickets. So we would work those days and then we would save those 4 days and use them maybe in November when the flight tickets were cheaper, and we would just randomly go to Japan like in the middle of the week and have a great time. If you were to take more days off than you had, it wouldn't really be a big issue, except for it would eventually be taken off of your pension. So Korea does have a national pension, which is really cool. Instead of going by year, for example, so saying, oh, you started June of 2014 and you left at the end of 2019. So that means that you worked for 5.5 years. They do it by the day. So they literally count exactly how many days you were in the office, and that's how much like your pension is worth. So if you take extra vacation days, it'll just shave off a little bit of your pension, but it's not really a huge financial cut. And then if you are foreign and you leave the country, you aren't planning on coming back to Korea before you can legally get your pension, they will give it to you. I'm pretty sure you do it at the airport. Taxes, oh taxes, how fun. The thing that drives me insane is that America, especially, I don't know about every other country, but I hope they know, America knows how much you owe them. The IRS knows, which is why you get penalized if you don't pay the correct amount. So basically, they make you do all this paperwork and then we're gonna charge you if you get it wrong. It's like a horrible math test, but in Korea, it's a beautiful system. And basically, all I am in charge of doing is once a year, I basically sign into this government website and I have to insert my banking information, download a PDF from that government website that has been tracking my spending and has like shuffled it into the correct places. I upload the PDF to my HR and then my HR does my taxes. Like the first time I had to do it, I thought they were kidding. Like I thought that was just like the first step, but it's literally that easy. It is beautiful. Which brings me to actually something I want to talk about today, which is Skillshare, who sponsored this video. Thank you guys so much as I transition to freelancing. Y'all really helping a girl out. Skillshare, as you know, is an online community that has a bunch of different classes ranging from business to art to photography to design. I actually delved into, they have a freelance and entrepreneurship section. The first one that I started, it's actually a really short class and it's really great. It's about pricing, like how to set a price as a freelancer, as a creative freelancer. Peggy, the teacher, kind of walks you through how you can realistically set a price and feel good about sending somebody your estimate and how to defend your estimate and your worth. And then speaking of taxes, I also started taking this course about bookkeeping. So since last year, I've had to do my American taxes as like a self-employed individual, which reminds me, if you are watching this on the day that this is posted, it is January 15th. Hi, hello, your quarterly taxes are due. She just really walks you through, like gives you so much information about what apps or what websites you can use to really help your bookkeeping, stuff like that. And Skillshare is actually giving you 2 months of the free premium membership, meaning that you have access to all of the classes unlimited, absolutely, for 2 months. And then it's about $10 a month afterwards if you click my link down below. So please follow that. It's really worth it. A lot of these classes are really quick, especially the entrepreneur ones. It has made America's really annoying taxes feel a little bit more manageable. So yay, if only it could be like Korea's, that'd be real nice. Back into the questions, a lot of questions about was I forced to stay late? And then interestingly, a lot of people asking about if I had to wait to leave until my boss left, which I found really funny because my bosses, like it's a startup, they're constantly going to meet with VCs. No, I never ever felt any pressure to stay late. The only times that I would is because like if we were releasing a new update, and I needed to get wording done, but the wording wasn't done. Like, I just needed to wait for somebody else to get something done. If I ever stayed late, it was usually on my own accord. I did have a manager who was American, first of all, a narcissist, a sociopath. I will have to like talk about him another time because I'm not even like ready to talk about him. But the only times that I did feel pressure to stay was he would be very judgmental if I were to leave, but that's because he was an emotional abuser. And he, like I said, he was American. This wasn't like a Korean work culture thing. It was like really just a sociopath, controlling, manipulative. Okay, is it hard to find work? Where can I find work? So I talked about this in my other video, so please go watch that. But is it hard? Yes. It's really, really, really hard. And if there are jobs, they're all in the same field. Finding work, you're probably gonna find it in marketing, in engineering, in translation, in content creation. You're not gonna find it in pretty much any other field, which is frustrating, but that's just what the need is here right now. I will link some resources down below, but yeah, it's linked to that. Would it be easier to get a job here if you go to a Korean university? And so yes and no. With the Korean university degree, if you complete your studies there, you don't need to have all of the other requirements to get the E7 work visa. So for me, I had to have like 2 years of work experience. I needed to have lots of letters of recommendation. I needed to have my degree directly match my job title, which is annoying, and I talk more about that in my other one. So you do get to skip that, but the hurdle of still finding the job is there. So I know a lot of people who have graduated and they have gone back to their home countries because either the job that they did find was horrible working conditions or they never found a job. And it's really, really common. Just know that, like, before you decide that you really love Korea and so you're gonna go to a Korean university so you can live here, it's not, you're still a foreigner. Like, it sucks. It's really hard. So yeah. And then the last one, was I treated differently? Did I experience alienation? And then I want to end on this note that I'm really glad someone asked this, but what was the kindest thing someone did at the workplace? So first of all, was I treated differently? Yes, because I was different. I never felt alienation. There would be times when like the conversation would be going so fast or like would veer to something that I didn't understand, and I'd definitely be a little like, like at lunch. Sometimes I would just find myself like, wow, I'm lost. Like, whoa. It's not like my coworkers ever tried to make me feel, oh no, why am I gonna cry? My coworkers never ever wanted to make me feel not welcome or not part of the team. It's just that they were talking about their lives and they were talking really fast in their native language. It's fine. But usually, like, especially I can think of like 3 or 4 of my coworkers were always checking up on me and like looking at me, especially if we, like I said, if we were to go out for a meal, they would always like be sure if I wasn't talking for a while, they would like veer the conversation back to a place I was comfortable and stuff like that. So yeah, there were times where I felt left out or something like that, but it was never malicious. It was never like intended for that to be like that. It was just, I'm not fluent in Korean and, you know, I don't know certain things that they're talking about. And if I was treated differently, it's just because I was different. Like, people would ask me questions about America. Yeah, people would just like ask my opinion or something. And I thought it was great. Like, it's fine. I am different. I was the foreigner in the office, you know? So, yeah, it was fine. And then as far as like the kindest things people have done for me, there's so many and I don't want to cry. I cried a lot on the day that I left. I really was holding it together, but my company has this really horrible tradition of everyone going to the elevators when the person is leaving, and they just like crowd around and say bye and like whatever. So I was like totally fine until that point, and then I just started sobbing because like yeah, my coworkers were basically like my family because I didn't have any family here. And I'm the kind of person that like can't talk through tears, so I need to like get a handle on myself for a second. My coworkers were really my family. Like, they really looked after me. They knew that my family wasn't around, so they really cared. and were like always checking that I was like eating my fruits and vegetables. They were really how I first made friends. They're all still my friends, and I'm really thankful for them. One concrete example, I had a really big health scare in 2016, and I needed to go to the hospital. My coworker like called the emergency room for me, and I ended up having to get surgery, and everybody was texting me and checking on me, and like one of our engineers, his wife is a doctor at the place where I was getting my surgery, so he was like, just like tell me where you are and I'll send her up, like she's the best. I'm just really thankful for them. I wish I could say more without sobbing, but every time I want to talk about something specific, I end up crying. One really cute thing was after Kurt and I got married, we didn't do anything. Like we didn't have any party. We would have like play days, like you would have hueshik, like going out for dinner or something. Every team would have a budget to like have a day of fun, and it didn't have to be going out drinking. One day my coworker just emailed me and was like, hey, we're thinking of going to a movie on Thursday, like would you be interested in seeing Aquaman with the team? And I was like, okay, like I'm sure. So we go to a buffet beforehand, and then we walk to the movie theater, and as we're walking in, there's like a cafe that we're gonna go to while we wait for our movie to start, and one of my coworkers disappeared, and I was kind of like, oh no, like where did she go? But I didn't want to like ask a lot because I thought we just went to a seafood buffet. Like what if she got really sick? It looked like the other people knew where she was, so I didn't want to make them be like, she's in the bathroom, she's sick, shut up. So I just kind of dropped it. And then as we were sitting in the cafe, that coworker shows up behind me with a big bouquet of flowers. And it turns out that this was like a little congratulations Carrie wedding party, which I thought was just so cute. It was also a really good excuse to like not work for the whole day. So like I'm sure they were thankful to me too for getting married, but it was just really cute. Like they didn't have to do that. It was really nice. So yeah, I had some of the lowest lows of my life in that company. I have some of the absolutely the worst time of my life while I was working there, thanks to certain people. But I also made so many friends, and I'm so thankful for them. I met Kurt there. Like I said, they're my family. You really hate some of them, and you really love some of them. So I will calm down now. Oh my God, I'm excited to start this new chapter of my life. I'm thankful for the last 5.5 years of my life, but I'm excited to see what I can do by myself. And yeah, I wish you guys the best of luck with your job search. I wish the best of luck to anybody who's currently working here. It's I mean, anywhere, any job is going to be really mentally and physically and emotionally hard, but I hope you do find people that you love through it, and you learn things and you grow. So yeah, I wish I wasn't ending this on like such a crying note, but I don't know if Skillshare has some classes about like controlling your emotions. If you want to check it out, you can hit my link in the description box for 2 months of a free premium membership. I'll talk more about how I'm gonna deal with that, with YouTube and finances and like sponsorships and all that stuff, maybe in another video, or I'll just talk about it on Instagram probably. But that's definitely something I'm gonna have to think hard about and balance well and stuff like that. So yeah, I thank you guys so much for being on this journey with me. 3 years of full-time and YouTube on the side was a trip, and I really learned how much I love YouTube because I was able to like find the energy to do YouTube no matter what. So yeah, I'm just really thankful you guys. This channel genuinely helped me recover from that really dark time, which maybe I will talk about later once I'm able to like not cry. But yeah, you guys have no idea how much, even now, you're really helping me so much. So I'm always thankful for you guys, and I hope that this helped in any way. I'm so sorry that I'm a mess. If you have any more questions, definitely check out my other video that I made, and then any specifics I'll try and answer down below, but definitely check that video first because I did a lot of them. And yeah, God, I really need to stop this. I'm gonna go like fix myself, but yeah, I really, really love you guys, and thank you. God, just thank you. So, see you next time. Bye.